Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. My name's David and this is my channel. Today we're going to cut straight to the chase. There is only love. There's only love in this universe. This is hard to see when we look out in the world and we see atrocities and we see people and we see things we don't agree with and we see that duality, that good and bad all over the place. But I assure you, it is true. So what does it mean? Well, let's take the opposite. If there's only love, then there is no opposing forces. Well, there goes Star Wars, right? No wonder they've been going. How long have they been fighting the good and bad, the dark and the light? It doesn't work. So what happens is that as we look at shadow and light or good and bad, we use one to move the other. And that's what we're doing all the time is they have the ability to connect. They are the same. I always like to say if you have the yin and yang here, right, that yin and yang we all know, and you put good on one side and bad on the other side, they're connected to each other. And whichever one you focus on pulls you towards it. So this idea of pulling, we're not always familiar with. So when it comes to my injury in my foot that I've been working on, now I'm walking and moving, I've learned that what happened is that because the injury is on the top of the foot, I was using the heel and kind of doing that heel thing like this that we know. Now, what happens is that if I use the heel and I stop with the other one, then what happens is the heel becomes stability as the other one moves. You see, that's how the foot moves. The heel stabilizes, and then the top of the foot, it moves to the top of the foot and moves, kind of like a wave. Then as it drops back down, it stabilizes again, you see, and then it moves. And Tai Chi kind of teaches us this, is that there is this opposing forces. They're opposite, heel, toe. They move in two different directions, just like a wave. But they use each other in order to move. One goes down first, and then it allows the other one to move. Does that make sense? If I drop my elbow one, then now it allows my wrist to move. In Tai Chi, now we have some kind of power to be able to do that. So the elbow drops and then the wrist can move. So the opposing forces use each other in order to move. One stabilizes and the other one starts movement. So now that I'm working on the foot, I'm paying attention, pushing that heel down and then allowing the front of the foot to move. It's very important that I allow the front foot to move, but not before I stabilize it with the heel. Okay? So two forces that are always moving. It's the same thing in our life. Since there is only love, it means that those two come together. The yin and yang, they always come together. So how does that work in our life? Well, simple. Let's say if you look at your overall life, vibrationally, we've talked about vibration before, that's your center. What you vibrationally become, you will pull into your life. So let's say if your vibration is that of satisfaction, and you sit back and you say, I'm going to find satisfaction. I'm going to find positivity in everything, no matter what. No matter what, I'm going to make my center satisfied. I'm going to be satisfied. I'm going to be satisfied. What is satisfaction? I start going on small rants. I work my vibration on purpose in order to create the feeling of satisfaction first. The feeling. It's all about feeling. Then what happens is then I will hook into a future of what my inner being would believe is satisfying to me. I can't tell you the specifics. That's why when you go for the specifics, it never works. You don't know. You just know it's going to be satisfying. And then your inner being will put together the specifics through law of attraction, and it will then come into your life. It'll pull it into your life from your center. So as my center becomes satisfied, I pull in a satisfying future. Does that make sense? That's why your vibration and how you feel is very important. If you're fearful and worried, then you're going to pull in a fearful and worried future, or definitely a less than satisfying future. And now you're going to pull that in, just like the yin and yang. If I put worried and satisfied, if I focus on worried, then it's going to start spinning and moving, and then satisfaction is going to go, and everything is going to come in a form of worry. If I focus on satisfaction, and then it's going to spin, momentum is going to ensue, and then now, once again, your inner being, your higher self is going to put together all the compartments, all the pieces that we couldn't possibly know, that are all coming together to connect together in order to create a satisfying life that's going to now start flowing in all aspects of your body, your life, your business, your relationships, and so forth and so on. So we can either try to fix every little thing. Well, I want to fix my relationship. I want to fix this. I want to fix this. I want to fix this. Or you can fix them all just by finding the feeling of satisfaction. You see, just like the foot, I need to find satisfaction. I need to find some kind of stability. What's the stability in this case? Your satisfaction, your connection to your source. In this case, is the connection to the ground. As I connect, then it'll pull the other side in and allow it to move. And it's the same thing with our life. So as we find a feeling, I recommend a feeling of satisfaction. That's a pretty good feeling to get. Now, as you're trying to find the feeling of satisfaction, all your other feelings are going to come to the surface. Well, I'm worried about this, and I'm angry about this, and I'm frustrated about this. You have to pay attention to it. Those are all your separate pieces. They're not anchored in satisfaction. But your feeling is going to give way to thoughts, and your thoughts are going to give way to your life. So we need to find some way to feel our way into the experience we want. Now, in Tai Chi and Qigong, it feels like the only way I can explain it is that as you move the opposites, let's say these are opposites together, it's like little teeth, so to speak. One tooth going this way, one tooth going this way. They're opposites and they connect together and they move and move and move and move. That's what awareness feels like. Now you know. It feels like different sprockets. When I move like this, I can feel a sprocket going down and up at the same time, and it's moving it up by going down. Now that's kind of hard to explain. But it is the way the universe works because there's only love. Remember, there's no opposing forces. All opposing forces have the ability to move together. That's why there's only love. You might be experiencing opposing forces, but I assure you there is a way to put them into a way in order to move them together. And the way is always which one you focus on first. Little sprockets. If I focus on dissatisfaction, then the sprocket's going to move this way and it's going to move me into dissatisfaction. Because they're little teeth, their awareness, then as your world unfolds, it unfolds one moment at a time, just like those little teeth. Does that make sense? And it pulls you into your destination of what you're looking for, which is your feeling. And now your whole world becomes dissatisfied. If you focus on satisfaction, then those sprockets, even from dissatisfaction, are going to start hooking in and they're going to start pulling you towards satisfaction. That's resonance. It's going to pull you in. And then now, just like those sprockets, each individual teeth, each individual moment is going to show you some kind of satisfaction. And it's going to build more and more momentum until everything starts coming back to you in a place of satisfying. Does that make sense? It's wonderful to know this. Because once you understand that you've got choices, since there are no opposing, if you're sick and healthy, you have a choice. You can either focus on sickness or focus on health. Whichever one you focus on is going to pull you in that direction. Does that make sense? If you're poor and you want to be rich, you got to focus on rich in order to pull you in that direction. Whatever you focus on, it pulls you in that direction. If rich and poor is just too big of a gap, then you got to find some way of from poor to maybe a little bit better and then have a little bit better pull you in. You see? We get to decide. And we always decide this world based on the opposing forces that we have created that are really there to pull each other back in together. That's so funny because as you look out in the world and you see that duality, you see good and bad. And then we focus on the bad and say, I can't believe that. I don't like that. You know what? Use it to find the good. Once you find the good, focus on the good and then pull yourself back into the good. The bad is there temporarily. You see? Just like when you hurt yourself, it's temporary. It's going to heal. We all know that. It's going to heal. It's going to heal. The body can heal, so forth and so on. We use that part that's not healing in order to remember to heal. So both are always going to be there. But use one to find the other. That's the key. If you're sitting in a place with no money, use that to find the money that you want or find the abundance that you want and then find the feeling of abundance and allow that feeling to pull you back up into abundance. I've learned in my life, and this is what I recommend. It's much easier to find a place of okay, of contentment, of satisfaction, of, okay, I can be satisfied. I can be okay. I can be satisfied where I am. Instead of a place of lack, loss. If you could just take the time to find that feeling of satisfaction, it'll pull every single part of your life your body, your money, your relationships, your house, everything into it. But use it like a ladder to pull it up. If we use anything else, then it's going to pull us up there too. Either way, it's all moving in the same direction. You're pulling in, you're literally pulling in your realities, and what you decide is what comes in. And what you decide is going to give birth to different ways of that feeling. If you feel lack on a regular basis and loss, you're going to pull in a world that shows you lack and loss. If you feel content, I feel good, I feel content, I feel satisfied, then you're going to pull in a universe, a world, a earth, a world of satisfaction and contentment. So vibration, everything we've said, vibration is a feeling. The feeling gives birth to thoughts. Now, I know this isn't easy because as you try to find that feeling of satisfaction, all of that dissatisfying things are going to come to the surface. That's part of the journey. You have to be ready to let them go. You have to be ready to say, you know what? These are old effects. This is the past. It's not what I want anymore. I'm tired of trying to fix the past, which you can only focus on it by fixing the past. You can only focus on the same feeling over and over and over. You can't fix lack without focusing on lack, can you? And you can't fix loss without focusing on loss. And you can't find money without focusing on no money. Do you see? It doesn't work. As we start finding the feeling of what we want first and foremost, I'm just going to sit in the middle of my life regardless, and I'm going to find satisfaction. I'm going to sit in the middle of where my foot is and just say, I'm satisfied with you. I enjoy you. I'm okay with where you are. I'm going to be satisfied with you. And as I'm there, I'm going to be satisfied with my body in general. And as I'm there, I'm going to be satisfied with my life. And I'm going to be satisfied with me as a being and where I am and how all this works. I'm an eternal being. I can be satisfied with where I am. I do not have to allow the effects of my life to tell me how to feel about myself or how to feel about my source or how to feel about life in general. You see, we have to learn to stop allowing the effects, the journey, to continue to tell us how to feel when how you feel is what's next. It's that important. How you feel gives birth to thoughts, which gives birth to your life. Do you see? Not the other way around. It doesn't work that way. In Tai Chi, you start from your center, you move from your hip, you move from your knee, you move from your foot. That's how you extend Chi. If I start thinking from foot and then hip and then knee, it's not going to work. I'm going to jam up the energy. Things only work one way, guys. And the way it works is you have to find the feeling of what you want to experience. As you find the feeling, not the specifics, just the feeling, it will give birth to different thoughts. And then those thoughts will bring in the reality. So I recommend alignment, calibration, alignment. It's everything. I'm just going to sit back and find satisfaction in everything. Either you find it in what you look at. You can probably find a lot of satisfaction in your life if you look good enough. Or you close your eyes, you move into meditation, and you find the satisfaction of your inner being. Trust me, your inner being is always satisfied because it's always about what's next. There's no past. It doesn't have anything to be dissatisfied about because it's always looking at what's next. And as we find that feeling of what's next, what do I want next? What does satisfying feel like? What does goodness feel like? What does contentment feel like? I can feel good. I can find the feeling of satisfaction without specifics, just feeling it, just flowing, just ease, vibrationally working up yourself until you feel a feeling of true satisfaction working through, because you got to feel it. And as you work a little bit here and there, then the world is then going to start giving proof, first through emotion, first through feeling. As Abraham says, use your feeling, use your emotions first and foremost. Don't worry about the manifestations, let them go. Just feel your way into satisfaction and let the inner being take care of the rest. Let the universe take care of the rest. That's the way the law works. If you can find the feeling, then the rest will come. That's the law. It has to be. That makes it easy for us. Instead of trying to fix everything in our life, just be satisfied with everything that we can and find the feeling of satisfaction and let the rest come. I hope this helps. And of course, as always, receive what you can. I have belief, I have faith that we can all become satisfied together regardless of the world. Let go of the world. That's the key. And if you like this video, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe and please share and share. And as always, my unconditional love and appreciation.